Hello, friends. Gonna give it a second and see if I can see if anyone is joining for sprints today. I'm really excited to be here sprinting because I am currently on book 74 out of the 75 that I set for my Goodreads goal. So I'm crossing my fingers that I can finish. This book is like 500 something pages long. So we'll see. Never mind. It's only 417. It's just heavy. This is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Long. I don't know if it is like the pages that they had to use to spray the book or what, but this book is dense. It is very, very heavy. So I'm trying to get a good chunk of the way into that. How was everybody's Christmas? What are you reading right now? How are you spending your weird days between Christmas and New Year's? Because I certainly don't know what day it is or what time it is ever. Talk to me. How's it going, guys? I made it out of clay last night, and this was a very fun time. Hello, Hallie. I'm reading Quicksilver tonight. I'm still excited to read Quicksilver. I know I've seen a couple of my friends not give it the highest praise, but I am still very excited to read it. I actually just wrote down my January TBR, and it is on that TBR, and I'm excited about it. Oh, we've got Kimberly reading Quicksilver too. Haven't been able to read it all this week, so excited for sprints, although I may only make it one sprint before knocking out. I'm reading Quicksilver tonight, about 18% in. You guys are making me so excited to start it. Something funny that I'll tell people on sprints, like I said, I was just making my January TBR, and my in real life book club, the Page Turners, it's my teacher group, they picked Powerless by Lauren Roberts to read. And then I'm at the third book in the Chestnut Spring series also, which is also called Powerless. So I'm reading 2 Powerless books next month, and that just seems silly. Hello, Kate. I'm reading a Game of Thrones for the first time. So far, really enjoying it. I have not read the series Game of Thrones yet. I guess it's A Song of Ice and Fire. But I really want to, but I want to know that all of the books are going to be released before I pick up the first one. I love the TV series. Some of us in Patreon are watching through the first season right now, and it is so good being back in that world. I love Game of Thrones so much. I got like a weird bubble in my chest. Did anybody get any books or anything for Christmas? I'm going to go grab the books that I got really quick so I can show you guys. I put books on my wish list, and my sister-in-law basically just was like, okay, I'm going to get you your books. So she got me Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I haven't read this one yet. She got me Normal People by Sally Rooney, which I'm really excited to read. And then she got me Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which I am so excited to jump into this massive series. I'm very excited. She also got me A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, but that one hadn't come in yet on Christmas. Hello, Tammy. I think I'm starting God of the Woods. I loved The God of the Woods. I read that for a book club, and we had the best time. I'm dying to read Game of Thrones, but he's been working, on the second to last book for like 12 years now. It doesn't even have to have a release date. I just want to know, like, hey, like, it's coming really soon, and then I'll pick up the series. Hello, Steph. New to your channel. We chatted a little bit in Tori's Discord. Yeah, I remember. I'm also reading Quicksilver, but having a sick day tonight. So right now I'm organizing my room. I totally get that. Hello, Linda. I have Normal People on my shelf too. I have not read a Sally Rooney book yet, and this one seems like a good place to start because I could also watch the TV show. I don't know. My sister got me the illustrated edition of A Storm of Swords. She got me Game of Thrones 2 years ago and Clash of Kings last year. It's making me want to reread A Song of Ice and Fire. I did not know that there were illustrated versions of that one. Yeah, I really enjoyed The God of the Woods, and I know that, like, I feel like people are just divided on that. I think the important thing to know going into that book is it's not a thriller. It's definitely more of a slower paced mystery, but if you go in with the right expectations, it's so good. The way everything comes together at the end, like, I still think about it, and I love the cover of that book too. I got Phantasma and Heat of the Everflame for Christmas from my mom, as well as a page turner for my Kindle. I also bought myself the second Bridge Kingdom book at Walmart today. Phantasma is on my TBR for 2025. I need to finish Heat of the Everflame. And then a page turner is life changing. I love my Kindle page turner. And I got it for Christmas last year, and somehow I still have not lost it. It's such a tiny little device. I'm so impressed with myself that I've kept up with it for so long. But if you are new to my sprints, I usually do 3 45-minute sprints. And then we just come back and chat. I don't do music or anything during sprints because, in my experience, there's not like one type of music that makes everybody happy. So I just have a little video on in the background with a timer. And that way, if you want to listen to music, you can put your own music on or whatever it is that you want to do. I really liked your other book, Long Bright River. I have not read that one, but I know what you're talking about. There's only illustrated editions of the first 3 books. Like everything else with this series, who knows when or if the others will be. Ooh, wow, I cannot talk. Sometimes when I wear my noise canceling earphones, like I don't hear the words coming out of my mouth. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point, Linda. I have no idea when stuff is coming out. I also got 2 Barnes& and Noble gift cards, and my friend and I are planning a Barnes& and Noble day in January. That sounds so fun. Me and my coworkers, we're all pretty big readers, which is why we have a book club. But we'll go out to Mexican after school a lot, and then there's a Barnes& and Noble right next door. So usually we go to Mexican, we'll get a margarita or two, we'll be feeling really good about life, and we'll walk around Barnes& and Noble and point to all the books we read and sometimes buy books. It's a great time. I want to revisit The God of the Woods hopefully in 2025. I also loved Long Bright River. Yeah, I'm surprised by how much I liked The God of the Woods. We were all sitting there at book club having so much trouble deciding what to read next. And I didn't know what it was about, but I was like, I really liked that cover. And it was a book of the month, which means it would be pretty accessible to everybody in the book club. And we ended up really liking it. So I am going to go ahead and get us started on the little sprint screen. And we will be back in just a little bit to chat some more. My sister asked me if I was tired of her giving me the books every year. I told her no, but not to worry since there are no more. She was confused and irritated. Oh my goodness. My sister-in-law, did I say stepsister earlier? My sister-in-law. Wow, my brain is really not working. Normally, she gets me an illustrated Harry Potter book every year, but I guess since I didn't put one on my list this year, she went for the book route, which I am not complaining about. Although I do want to keep building my illustrated Harry Potter collection. I have the first one, the second one, and the fourth one. And I think the third and the fifth one are out right now, but I don't have those yet. Anyway, let's get to reading, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back from reading. I think we've had a couple of people join us during the sprint. Sherlock joined us. So we've got another buddy over here. But how did that go for y'all? I had a pretty successful reading go that time. The chapters in Blood Over Brighthaven are on the longer side. So I only read one chapter, but it was like 24 pages. And then I had to go clean up a mess that Zelda made. So I know in Discord, a lot of us were talking about how the magic in this book is kind of like coding. And it is so cool. I've only seen the magic happen one time, but like I'm so intrigued. I'm so interested by the way everything is working in here. And I really like the main character. Okay, let's see how you guys did. I know we were having a little bit of a discussion earlier about whether or not they were continuing with the Harry Potter illustrated editions. And I looked it up and I can't tell. So I'll do some more research there, but that would really break my heart if they're not going to finish the illustrated editions. Hello, Amanda. Currently reading The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. I have not heard of this one. Are you liking it? Is it good? And then we were talking some more about the MinaLima, which I was talking about MinaLima to my sister-in-law because I really wanted to get all of the MinaLimas for my nephew for when he first was, when he's old enough to read Harry Potter. But if they're not going to finish it, I don't know if I should do that. Hello, Corinna. We are watching Shrinking. I haven't watched Shrinking yet. Do you like it? And I'm going to be tandem reading Mistborn. Yes, my favorite. Sometime in 2025, I'm going to get to Era 2. Hello, Lydia. Completely forgot you were sprinting tonight. I've been reading Once Upon a December all afternoon and will probably keep up after dinner. I am so glad that you're liking that one. It seems like it's all the good things from what you were saying. Hello, Danny. Reading Daydream. I just saw that, I think, on Sarah Caroli's Best Books of the Year. So I hope you're liking it. Hello, Lily. Reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I had so much fun reading that book. I hope you're liking it. Hello, Lena. Just popped in time for the next sprint. I'll be starting Throne of Glass for the first time. Oh my gosh. That is a series I wish I could go back and read for the first time. I hope you love it. Man, like what a ride. I finished the last Throne of Glass book around this time last year. I can't believe it's been a year. I know. He's such a good boy. He's sitting with his paws all crossed. Everybody's saying hello to you. Because you're a handsome boy. Did you get a haircut? Yes, I got a haircut on Christmas Eve, and that was a whole thing, y'all. I got an appointment with a new girl, and like I did this through Facebook Messenger because she was advertising her stuff on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I see that you have 11 o'clock on Christmas Eve open. If you don't want to do Christmas Eve, I can do the 27th. And she was like, no, Christmas Eve is fine. I've got you down. So I show up at the salon at 11 on Christmas Eve and nobody's there. So I sent her a message and waited and waited and waited and waited. And then I finally got back to her that she forgot to put me down, actually. And I went back later on Christmas Eve. But man, I almost didn't get a haircut. Hello, just jumping in to say hello. Editing another day of Bookmas. You guys who are doing Bookmas, props to you because I couldn't. And maybe I'll read in an hour or so. I hope you get some good reading time in. I ended up showering, so now I'm all ready to read. I also took a shower before I hopped on sprints tonight. Read about 28 pages of The God of the Woods. That's pretty good for like the slow pace of that book. They are, but they haven't found a replacement yet. Okay. Is that for the MinaLima or for the illustrated ones? I saw a whole bunch of articles when I Google searched it, but I didn't click on any of them, so I didn't get good clarification. Got another 8% into Quicksilver. I'm having my typical long book boredom. I'm at 50%, but still enjoying it. That's how I got with Heat of the Everflame. And I kept putting it on TBRs and then on more TBRs and then on more TBRs, and I just never finished it. It was fine, but like I was like, okay, I've got a long time in the middle. And I guess I'll pick that one back up when we actually get a release date for Burn of the Everflame. But I understand what you're saying with long book boredom. Shrinking is so good. The only thing I know about that show is that the person that I saw in Once Upon a Mattress, Brendan Urie, has either guest starred or is in that show or something, because I started following him on Instagram and he posts about it all the time. I'm enjoying the story so far. So that's The Shards. I need to look at that one. I'm loving it. About 67% in on my tablet, having fun trying to guess the twist. Okay, this always happens to me with Frida McFadden, where like I'm like, oh, the twist is so obvious. It's so obvious. And then I get to the end and she's completely blown my mind again. And like I feel silly liking Frida McFadden because I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of drama surrounding her or whatever, but like I genuinely just have a really good time with her books. Oh, Lexi, so good to see you here. Working on updating my TBR game. You guys with your TBR games also, I'm so impressed at like the dedication and the time that it takes to put into your TBR games. But they are some of my favorite videos to watch. So, yay. I need to finish Empire of Gold. I started Well of Ascension yesterday, and I started Blood Over Brighthaven today because I forgot about that one for the book club. Linda, you are reading all of the chunky books right now. I do need to start Empire of Gold soon, though, because I'm worried about finishing it in time. I can't remember the last time I had 3 books going at once. I can, and it was not a good time in my life. I am a 2 book at a time at the most person. Okay, you were talking about the illustrated ones. That's good to know because, like, I'm a collector, and like I flipped through all of my illustrated copies, but I almost don't want to like sit down and read them until I have the whole collection, which is, I know that's bonkers, but and your username has bonkers in it, but I don't know. Like I'm a completionist. Last night I finished All Roads Lead Here and loved it. 5 stars. What are we going to do with all of these like 5-star books we're getting at the end of the year? I also never finished Heat. If Burn is good, I'll pick it back up, but the middle dragged for me too. Yeah, I want to love that series so bad. I loved the first one, but the second one was fine. The third one just, it was like this, like it was fine, and then it just dipped, and I don't know. Danny at 93%, you were going to finish tonight. I love The Boyfriend too. It was just so much fun. You like her, so who cares what others like? Form your own opinion. Yes, amen. Amen to that. That is what 2025 is about. That is the energy that we are bringing in. I agree about Frida McFadden. I always have a great time, and they're so bingeable. Oh, currently reading 4 different books. I've done it. I just can't bring myself. I don't know if it's just like an anxiety thing or my brain just can't like keep adding things to its to-do list. Not that reading is really like a to-do. It's something I do because I love doing it, but I just can't like have my brain in multiple places. I'm weird. My friend's the same way, has to have the whole series before she starts it. And it's not for everything, but like for these illustrated copies, I just know that I'm going to want to be so immersed in like the illustrations and just the magic again that it's going to be hard to stop once I start. I did bring the first one to school because my students watched the first Harry Potter movie and they were just like really into it. So I brought the first one for them to look at. The Boyfriend was a lot of fun. And it was just like one of those books where it seems so simple and you're like, Why did she even write this? Like, it's so obvious. And then the end of it was just like, I loved it. The illustrated editions read so quickly. And I love art. I love the way those books feel in my hands. I don't know. I just need to finish my collection. I think my anxiety makes me read more than one at a time. And this is why, like, everybody's different and everybody does their own thing in their own way. And I love that for you. I just couldn't. I've been known to read 7 books at once because I start something else because I don't feel like filming a vlog clip yet. Relatable. Okay, guys, this was some fun chatting in between, but I don't know, probably just going to get one more chapter into Blood Over Brighthaven on this next sprint. I don't even know how long it is. I'm on page 60. And the next chapter ends at 79. So I got a ways to go. The Perfect Sun by Frida was great. Okay. I haven't heard of The Perfect Sun, I don't think. I know she's got a new one coming in January, right? The Crash. That one also sounded interesting. I don't know how she gets all of these books just popped out. Because she had what, 3, 4 releases this year? And who knows how many she'll have in 2025. The girl writes, she and Brandon Sanderson need to start some sort of club. That would be interesting. Like a panel with Frida McFadden and Brandon Sanderson on it talking about writing. Gwen did a video where she went through my Goodreads and she had about died when she saw my currently reading because they include my soft DNFs because if a readathon starts, I tend to stop what I'm reading and we'll go back to it. There was a time where my story graph had like 8 currently reading books, but that was because I didn't want to admit that I DNF'd things. Those days are behind us though. All right, guys, let's read for another 45 minutes and I'll see y'all back here at the end of that. Welcome back, guys. I am on my break. Most of y'all know I'm a teacher, and that means I can make coffee at 9 p.m. if I want to, because I'm going to stay up late and do what I want. I am somebody who wants to be up late. I am a night owl, but when I am tired from teaching 13-year-olds all day, I cannot stay up late. I made it to page something 84 in this book. I really like it. Obviously, I don't know where it's going this early on, but the writing is just fantastic. And if this continues, like it could be a favorite of the year, which is crazy because the year's almost over. Speaking of which, is there anybody that is still working on meeting their reading goal? Because I am. I have 2 more books I need to read. This one and another one to get to 75. So let's see where we left off. Mando was talking about soft DNFs. So funny. I'll be using that for sure. I say that and like DNF for now, or I'll get back to it. Like they all mean the same thing to me. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood for a book, and I do come back to it. Hello, Tuesday. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend so far. I'm reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I think we've talked about this before, but is this your first time reading Harry Potter, or is it a reread? I love Order of the Phoenix. I think as an adult, it's my favorite in the series. 70% in on my tablet now. I almost had the twist figured out. There were parts of it that I was so close to being right about, but I was so wrong. I think once I finish The Boyfriend, I'm going to read another Frida book, maybe The Surrogate. I also have not read that one, but she's got so many out. I know. I love Harry Potter too. I'm a night owl and I have a 13-year-old son, so I get it. I love teaching middle schoolers. I taught elementary before I moved to middle school. And I am not an elementary teacher. I do well with the middle schoolers, but they do wear me out. I'm homeschooling him. That's great. I know I teach public school, but I think homeschooling is amazing. Everyone told me Mistborn was really easy to understand, but I'm on page 40 and there's a lot of historical context and characters. Yeah, the beginning of it, you're kind of just like thrown into a whole bunch of world building, but it does get better. I got another 5% into Quicksilver and switched over to the audio of Cackle, which is my first Rachel Harrison. It was my first Rachel Harrison too, and I listened to it on audio and I loved it. I still think it's my favorite Rachel Harrison book. You can do it, Heather. I reached my goal, I think 2 weeks ago. If I hadn't been doing the plays, I would have like surpassed my goal by now, but I had no reading time during the plays. I'm 8 books away from my goal. Not sure I'll make it, but that's okay. Novellas definitely helped me. This is my first time reading the series. I'm reading it with a couple of friends who are big fans. I wish I could go back and read it for the first time. 50% into This Is Where We Talk Things Out. I heard of this recently, and I don't remember from where. It's a novella, so I'm hoping to finish it tonight. After this, my options are Beautiful Ugly, which is a thriller, so it should read pretty quickly. But my other option is the Frederick Bachman novella that's on KU, and it's also free on Audible through KU. I think I could knock that one out really fast, and plus I just love Frederick Bachman. I've only read the first 2 chapters of Blood Over Brighthaven, but that first chapter. Linda, before I started sprints tonight, that was all I had read, and the rest of it has gone by so fast. The first chapter was insane. It kind of reminded me of like Game of Thrones in a way. I don't know why. Probably just because it reminded me of like a snowy frozen lake and people running away from stuff. But then like it's a completely different vibe once you get to chapter 2, but I really like it so far. Oop. Yeah, you're amazing for homeschooling, for sure. Hello, Lena. Not reading tonight, trying to finish my Christmas puzzle and watching Kitchen Nightmares because Daddy Gordon. That's hysterical. They were talking on the radio recently, my local radio station, about smell-o-vision and what shows that people wouldn't want there to be access to smelling the show. And they mentioned Kitchen Nightmares because obviously if stuff is going bad in the kitchen, I guess it smells bad. Anyway, that's the last time that I had thought about Daddy Gordon until you said that. I surpassed my goal in August or September, but that's because I set it at only 25. That's nice. It makes you feel accomplished. Reading Harry Potter for the first time would just be amazing. Right now, I'm listening to the Through the Gryffindor podcast, which is two of my favorite YouTubers. It's the Super Carlin brothers. It's Jay and Ben Carlin. And they're just going through the books chapter by chapter. And I mean, obviously, for them or for me, it's not the first time that they've read it because Harry Potter is kind of what they built their fan base on. But they're going so in depth in the chapters, and it's a really good time. I've heard that Bachman novella is excellent. Yeah, I'm excited to get to it. But literally, if he rewrote the phone book, it would be my favorite book. I have a few short stories I'm wanting to read, so those might get me to my goal. Hopefully they'll be better than the short stories I read, which were the Under the Mistletoe books. They weren't good, but they sure did beef up my reading goal. Corinna, I saw this. I think you were on Jordan's Discord, maybe. I got the new book, My Friends on NetGalley, and I can't believe it either. I'm so jealous. I didn't even think of that about chapter 1 until you said it. The visuals in my brain were just taking me right there. Yeah, it's all going to click soon. Blood Over Brighthaven was so good. I can't wait to discuss it in depth. I literally, I told y'all, Brent works in coding. And so the very first time that we get her writing the magic code for her admissions test, I sent him the picture of all of it. And I was like, this is kind of like what you do. And he thought it sounded really cool. He wanted to know what her background in computer programming was. Have you gone down the fan fiction rabbit hole? Because, girl, there are so many great ones. I have not. Now, okay, when I was a teenager, there was a website called Fanfic Alley, I think, that was just all Harry Potter fan fiction. And I did read some fan fiction on there. There was Fanfic Alley and there was Artistic Alley, which was fan art of Harry Potter. And I would live on those websites. There was also a fan art Lion King website, which these were peak teenage times in my life. But I haven't, and I don't know if I want to get into the fanfic or not. One of the girls in my book club read Manacled last year, and I think she might have read, I can't remember the name of the other one, but she read 2 of them and she really liked them. But I just don't know if it's for me at this stage of my life. Hello, Amy. I have a pretty crap rating on NetGalley too, and it's just so random what I get approved for and what I don't. But I also have just learned that I really don't like reading ARCs. And it's not I don't like the pressure of reading them. I get so distracted, and I think it's my ADHD, which I don't have a diagnosis for. So I feel bad even labeling myself that, but I'm pretty sure I've had it my whole life. I can't take the grammatical inconsistencies and the line break inconsistencies that I see in ARCs. It the second I see something that's not the way a traditionally published book looks. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I get taken out of the story. So ARCs are really hard for me to read. Hello, Christina. reading Dreaming About Forever by Mandy Blake. I haven't heard of this one either. You guys are introducing me to some new books and new authors tonight. Manacled was amazing. That's what everybody said. Oh, the something ordeal. The something ordeal of falling in love. That's the other one that she's read. I used to be obsessed with Degrassi fanfic, and man, what I wouldn't give to be a teenager reading fanfic again. Yes. Like, I was just so amazed at the fan fiction people wrote when I was like 13 and 14. I didn't get to stay home sick from school very often because my parents were teachers, and like, I don't know, they just didn't really let me stay home unless I was running a fever. But I loved sick days because when I was sick, I would get on the little computer. It was in our sunroom, and I would just sit there all day in my pajamas and read fan fiction and look at Lion King fan art. I don't wonder if that website is still there. I loved that website. People would make like original Lion King characters. Here's another like super deep dive into what it was like to be a teenager. I was big on like role-playing message boards where you were a wolf in a wolf pack. I loved it. I thrived. It was a time to be alive. And like, depending on how active you were, you could move up the ranks in the wolf pack. So like my character was the beta male of the wolf pack. And this sounds like it's getting like into Omegaverse territory. It wasn't. It was just like you were literally role-playing yourself as a little wolf running around in nature. It was great. Oh, what I would give. Role playing. I used to be on a horse one. I remember I went on a date with a guy in college, and he was like, "Tell me something you've never told anybody else." And I was like, "Okay, I used to do wolf role playing." Ooh-wee. The website was called like the Wild Wolf Society. I was big into role play on MySpace back in the day. I am also 35, Christina. I feel old all the time, especially when my back hurts, which is why I'm so grateful I have my new office chair. It's so comfortable. Anyway, there was something else I was going to talk about during the sprint, and I don't remember what it was because we started talking about fan fiction and role playing. I don't remember. Nobody could pay me to remember right now. This is what else makes me feel old. You guys are just babies, and I missed out of the role-playing things that you speak of. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I don't even... Okay, you want to know how I stumbled across role-playing? I played the game Petz, Petz, where like, I don't know if this is going to trigger a memory for anybody else, but like you basically, it was a computer game and you got to adopt dogs and cats. And online, people had websites where they had like, you know, hexed the pixels to be certain colorways and stuff, and you could adopt pets from other people online. And there was a girl who ran a pet store, and she had a link to the role-playing place. Anyway, it was crazy. Didn't think I was going to expose myself like this on Sprints tonight. We are here to bring out everybody's deepest, darkest secrets. I pulled a muscle in my neck getting out of the bathtub the other day. You're not 46, Karuna. There's no way. Just subscribe to your channel. Thank you, Christina. It was kind of like Neopets. Neopets was like online. Let me see if I can find a picture to share with you guys. Okay. It looked like this. And like you adopted the little dogs and cats, and you could like kind of like Sims, but they were animals, and they would like breed, which it was totally inappropriate. No, it was totally appropriate because like basically they would be like, oh, they're breeding, and they would just pop up like a big heart on the screen. And then a couple of days later, you would get a notification that there was a puppy But anyway, you could adopt like the files of different dogs from online. I had dogs and I had cats. It was great. And you could like submit pictures of them into shows. Growing up when like the internet was a baby was the best. My channel is Christina Loves Books. I will be sure to go check it out after sprints tonight. I'm glad that you're here. I promise. I don't believe it. I sound like my students right now though, because I'll be like, yeah. They ask me how old I am and I don't tell them. I'm like, I'll tell you what year I was born and you can do the math and figure it out. And they're like, nuh-uh, you're 19. Like I couldn't even be teaching you if I was 19, but I'll take it. Thank you. I did play Pets with two of my nephews. I played Pets and Horseland. I could not stop with the little Sims games. I played what was the zoo one? Like there was like Sim City, but there was like one where you could build a zoo. I loved that one. And like we only had the free trial, and so we only got to build like 3 exhibits, but me and my brother would just constantly start it over. That, and then we had a Nintendo 64, and Harvest Moon 64 was our jam, which is probably why I love Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, because they're just so similar to that game. Anyway, I could keep talking forever about what it was like to be 14, but let's get back to reading, guys. That's why we're all here tonight. I did not have Horseland, but I had like a horseback riding game because I was, in fact, a horse girl. I still would be a horse girl if I could afford to keep it up as a hobby, but that's expensive. All right, guys, can y'all hear me? I think my headphones died during that sprint. So hopefully you can hear me right now. It looks like it's working. I was answering a message from somebody else from a different Discord that we did Secret Santa in. And y'all, I sent my Secret Santa present on December the 3rd. And Amazon lost the first package. And so they resent it. And she still does not have it. It now says that it's arriving Sunday. So I am crossing my fingers that she gets it because I feel so bad that it's taken so long. But like once you order something from Amazon, it's out of your hands. But I hate that. Anyway, I read to chapter 7, which is on page 115. I've made a pretty good amount of progress in this book, and I feel like there are so many deep and poignant conversations to have in relation to like the story, but also in relation to just the world that we live in. It's crazy, but I really like it. And other than that, I was just petting the cats a lot because, as you can see, they all came to visit. I think Christina left. If you're still here, Christina, have a good night. If not, I still hope you have a good night. Okay, I'm glad y'all can hear me. Like I said, my headphones died. Read about 15 pages of Mistborn. More is happening now on page 56. Some of my favorite all-time characters exist in that book. Ooh, taking a break from Harry Potter to read Ushers by Joe Hill. I've only read one Joe Hill book, but I liked it. I'm enjoying Harry Potter, but I have to take it in small doses. Yeah, in the 5th book, like, definitely. I remember getting the 5th Harry Potter book, and my family was going on a road trip to Colorado, and my best friend was coming with us. And I remember getting to a certain chapter, a certain scene that was like super dramatic. If you've read the 5th book, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read it or you haven't gotten there, there's a lot of super dramatic parts of that book. But I had the hardcover, and I don't know if she thought she was like playing a prank on me or what, but she grabbed the corner of the hardcover book and my book ripped. Oh, I can't get over that. You're welcome. Got about 20% into Cackle. I love that book. Didn't read much that time, prepping a video of winter book recommendations. That's the thing about making booktube videos is part of your reading time that you like could be reading has to go to video editing and filming. So it's crazy. I'm so scared I'm not going to love it, but I'm giving it a chance and crossing my fingers. I adored it. I still think it's my favorite like fantasy series, but I totally get it when it doesn't work for people. Made it to chapter 4. Yes. So much going on in this book that's making me so angry. I'm sure it wouldn't have bothered me much as a kid, but as an adult, I just want to scoop up Harry and hide him. I remember people being so annoyed when that book came out, like people my age, so like 15, 16 when that book came out. No. It was the summer between 7th and 8th grade that book came out. So I would have been like 13 or 14. And just being like, oh my gosh, Harry is so angsty. He's so emo. And looking back at it now or rereading it as an adult now, he was handling his emotions so well for everything that he had just been through and was going through in book 5. Man. Balancing the reading and the creating. I'm still working on finding a rhythm. Same. And it's fine for me on times like this when I'm on like a Christmas break But as soon as I get back into my school schedule, it's so hard to like consistently post on the schedule that I want to post on and have the videos edited by the time I need them edited. But I am going to make a schedule happen. I feel like the one thing that the books really hit home on compared to the movies is how awful the Dursleys were. They made me so stinking mad. Yes, like when you're a kid, you're like, "Oh man, they're terrible." But like as an adult, you're like, "These are some of the worst, most abusive people." Like who makes a kid sleep in a staircase under the stairs when you have two perfectly good rooms upstairs? It makes me so angry. Well, my friends, I know I was just talking about how I love to stay up late, but I'm actually feeling tired. Kitten, what are you playing with, honey? She's got something crinkly. But like I said, I'm actually getting tired, so I might go to bed early tonight. The coffee clearly is not hitting. Also, this is just like such a random thought. Why does this book, why is it so rare to find like a trade paperback copy of it? Why are all copies of this book mass market paperback? I'm not mad at it. I'm happy to have a copy of it, but where are the trade copies? Why does this look so different than all of Brandon Sanderson's other books? Yes, I keep telling my friends, why are all these adults at Hogwarts allowing this to happen to an actual child? Those podcasters that I talk about have a theory about why everything had to happen to Harry the way that it had to happen. But I can't say anything about it without like saying more about the rest of the series. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But I do recommend either their videos or their podcast when you finish the series. I'm down with their theories. You're welcome, Linda. I hope everybody has a good night and a good start to their weekend. After I finish the books, I may check out the podcast. It's called Through the Griffin Door. I have the trade of Warbreaker, but I got the UK cover, and it was a while ago. Yeah, I have the UK covers of Mistborn Era 1, and I do like them a lot. But I feel like this one is just so hard to find in anything that's not the teeny tiny copy. You're welcome, Jen. It's good to see you here tonight. Good luck with your video editing. Yes, they just make me so mad. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you for being here. And I know in my goals video, I said I was going to try and do public sprints once, maybe twice a month. So you can either check my Instagram or my community tab, and I will make sure that I've got the dates for those sprints posted for the next month at the beginning of January. But good night, everybody. I know. Happy almost New Year. It's crazy. 2025 is literally less than a week away. I can't believe it. Bye, guys.